What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Magic Square MS-02TC Light of Peace, otherwise known as essentially their version of Masterpiece Optimus Prime, as close to the cartoon as possible, toy color version. Because unfortunately, I was not able to get the cartoon accurate version, but I do believe that this is still an amazing rendition of Optimus Prime. I'll say that right now. I do think that this is a very good figure, not without its faults, but I do think that it is very good. But before we even get into taking a look at the figure, let's take a quick look at the box here. As you can see, Magic Square right there in the corner. You do have very nice artwork here of, what is supposed to be Optimus Prime. They have the MSO2 Light of Peace here as well. Taking a look at the side, got some more Magic Square stuff for you right there as well. Sorry, I'm so far back because I had to put my camera pretty far back just to film this, but very, very nice stuff. Magic Square right there. Taking a look here. More Magic Square MS-02TC Light of Peace, obviously TC toy color. Then you have more nice artwork that we saw right there on the front. You got Magic Square right there as well. And then you do have nice artwork of the Peterbilt truck mode, or just the truck mode, excuse me. Then you have all of his tech specs down here, like they used to do for the most part for, some of the other, like Hasbro used to do for a lot of their Transformers for the most part. But yeah, really, really cool here on the box. And even while we're still on the box, I'm actually going to be talking about something else real quick. This is what comes with him. You do come with the instructions, and you do get this extra part, which I'll end up talking about here. And you do get another one, but that one is actually on the actual toy. But you do get this, and then I will open this up so you can see you do get like a little collector's card thing. So you do get this little collector's card. So you do get like this MSO2TC Light of Peace. You get nice artwork there, and then you get, all the tech specs again, sort of similar to what they showed you on the back of the box, but you do get all the tech specs there. Very, very nice that they decided to add this. This is really, emulating what you get usually out of Masterpiece. So very, very nice overall. But without further ado, I think that's it for the box, as well as showing off again the instructions, as well as that little tech specs collector's card. So let's get this guy out of the box and take a look at how he feels in hand. Alrighty, folks, with MSO2TC Light of Peace out of the box, here he is in his truck mode, Optimus Prime in the G1. He looks very, very, very good, although that sometimes when you don't transform this necessarily perfectly, he doesn't exactly like to hold together all too well, and so that's only one of my issues of a few that I do have with this figure as a whole, but it does look very, very nice regardless. So taking a quick look here, you can see some very nice details. Got some very nice silver here, got the nice headlights, got some fog lights, or excuse me, hazards down here. These are nicely painted. You even have painted windshield wipers, which are very nice. You can even open the doors here, which is really, really neat. And these little side mirrors do fold out, although they are very loose. I'll say when it comes to them folding in and out, very easy to just sort of knock them all around, which does kind of blow, but at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You do also have some very nice details, more silver paint here. The tires are actually rubber, which is nice. And when it comes to rolling around, this is one of the issues I have. With the way that this all tabs in here on the bottom of the figure, there's a little bit of rub here specifically on this side. This part will not extend further, and this part will not go in further. Thus, it results in this tire rubbing up against here and not allowing this to fully roll, but the other wheels do roll very, very nicely. The other thing to note is that the tires can come off fairly easily, the rubber tires, if you accidentally knock them around, so just be careful about that. But other than that, taking a look, you got some more nice blue here, you got some nice paint here as well. Again, nice silver rims, rubber tires. Again, all around looks very, very good. And this is pretty much as accurate, beyond the actual regular cartoon version of this, the regular Light of Peace. This is pretty much as accurate as you can get to the on-screen truck mode that we saw in the 80s cartoon, and I'm really, really happy with it. Now, one thing I'd like to talk about here is when it comes to this little section, this is actually just a little part, so you can use this for trailers and stuff like that, anything else you want to put on. It just goes in with these two little tabs here, and then you do have these two slots in there, but you also do come with the second one, which is the one that was in that Ziploc bag that they gave you with the collector's card. This one is meant to go along with, I believe, the MP10 mold trailer, as well as the MP44 mold trailer. So if you do have those can go right along with this. So you just, again, very easy to just sort of take these, again, you got 2 tabs right there, and then you got those 2 holes, so you just sort of line those up, push that down, and you're good to go. And that also helps to keep this section together very nicely. So overall, really, really solid stuff, and very, very happy with the truck mode. So for a quick comparison, I only have one because I only feel that there is one that you can really compare it to that I at least own. So we're going to set the Light of Peace here off to the side. And here he is with the only other Masterpiece figure that I currently own that isn't Bumblebee or Trax. MP10, but Year of the Horse, Optimus Prime. And this, again, is the only version of MP10 I have because I never got the original Toys R Us exclusive MP10 when it was available because I never knew those existed. And plus, I have not collected Masterpiece figures because, like many people, they take up a lot of room. They also are very expensive, and at the same time, yeah, it's much easier just to get something like Earthrise, you know, those lines, to have a much smaller and much more affordable representation. But taking a quick look here, you can see the differences. I know that when it comes to comparing this, you should be comparing MP44. But again, guys, I haven't been collecting Masterpiece figures at all, so I do not own MP44, nor am I going to shell out the, like, a gazillion dollars it will take to actually get it. So, taking a look here, you can see some differences. This is definitely a little more... This is not as cartoon accurate, but it does still look really good. But you can see the differences in the proportions mainly. So you can see that the legs on this guy are a bit thicker. They're a bit thicker here. And as well, you can see the cab is slightly chunkier on the MP10 mold. In addition, you can also tell that this is a bit longer than the MP10 mold in the truck mode because the legs don't compress in this. They're, you know, well, they do, but they also don't. You guys will see what I mean when we transform this thing. But yeah, overall, I mean, these do look very good, and this was fantastic for its time. Don't get me wrong. This was a brilliant figure, and this was a brilliant mold. It still is. It's just obviously MP44 really hits that cartoon accuracy. It's just the expense for it. While you can get this for a cheaper price, although this isn't cheap, it's a cheaper price, and in my opinion, a bargain for a Masterpiece figure, especially if you don't want to, you know, shell out scalper prices too, if you never were able to get your hands on the original MP44 when it was releasing. But yeah, had a lot to talk about with the comparison. I hope you guys understand. But yeah, I do think that these two look good together. But again, this isn't necessarily the mold I'd want to compare to this one, but I just don't own MP44. So. Alrighty, folks, now it's time to get into the transformation, and this is where this obviously loses a lot of its value. And that's because with the MP44, they're charging more, but that's because they've been able to engineer more things into it. Basically, what Light of Peace offers is the ability to get sort of the same accuracy in terms of the robot mode with not as much ingenuitive engineering as, you know, was put in MP44, but you still get relatively pretty much the same robot mode with also a little less quality. You know, it's offering essentially the MP44 at a more affordable price. Now, keep in mind, I picked mine up, I'll talk about this, I picked mine up on TF Source, which I normally don't pick up many things on TF Source, but I did for about $200. And yeah, that is very expensive, and we'll talk about that when we get into the conclusion, but this is meant to be a bargain. So, getting into the transformation, you'll notice that when handling this figure, you can definitely tell the third-party-ness. This doesn't feel like this when you handle it. It doesn't feel like MP10, because MP10, I've had this figure for almost a decade at this point. It's nearing a decade, I think, where I got the Year of the Horse MP10 mold, and this thing has not really felt like it's going to crack or bend or has any major stress marks. Within a little bit of me handling this, you guys notice, I'll point this out, this already has stress marks in one area in particular, and that's what scares me mainly with this, specifically with the transformation. It just feels like the materials used for this, the way that things clip together, you can definitely feel the third party. But does that make the transformation frustrating? Not necessarily, just in a couple certain areas, but I will say the engineering is very, very interesting. So, getting into it, let's remove this part here, the tow hitch, essentially, the trailer hitch. Then we'll get into the legs. I like to do the legs first for this section. So what we'll do is we'll take these bits and we'll untab them from both sides. Then what we'll do from here is these sections will untab, and they're tabbed in, so you just kind of rotate these up. Now, this is where the leg parts get a little tricky. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to split this, because it's tabbed in right there. And essentially what you're going to do, you'll see that these parts are actually extended, the wheels here, this entire section. You're going to rotate this, because it can rotate, and sort of rotate it around like so. And you'll do the same here where you'll rotate it around like so. And then, like I said, that these legs compress. So what you're going to do is sort of uncompress the legs and then fold this in and then fold this in on both sides. So again, sort of take this part of the leg, then you're going to uncompress it, and then you're going to take this, rotate it around so that you just have clearance for this to fold in. Then you'll just fold this in and then fold this in again. And then what you'll do is you'll sort of make sure that you have the room and then just sort of shove this in. Excuse me. Sorry. Rotate this all the way around. Sort of shove this in. So you make it so that you have room and then just sort of push this in. And then you can roll and then you can compress that. So again, on this side, very, very similar. So take this entire section and you'll essentially give yourself some room. And then you can then just compress this in like so. Then rotate and accordion that part of the leg down, and then you'll get this. Then from here, you can actually rotate the feet around like so. So just rotate them towards the front. Now, these sections not too bad either. So when it comes to this section, all you got to do is untab this and then unfold this. Then rotate this up, and then what you'll notice is that there are essentially these grooves here, and then you have grooves here. So what you got to do is just line them all up so that you can snap these into place like so. Do the same thing here. You'll notice that, again, there are holes there, and then there are grooves there, and then there are these slots that'll fit right in. So you just push those in. And then you can take the foot, and you can fold the heel out and the toe out, and then you can take the top of the toe, so the toe armor, and then you can fold that up to sort of fill all this out. So again, for the bottom of the leg here, what you want to do here is, again, take this section, rotate it up in like this, unfold, unfold, rotate this up, remember, keep this compressed, then again, take these sections, and then you can just fold them all in and let them slot in with the grooves. Again, here on this side as well, do the same thing here. Sometimes this happens. Just do that. Fold those in like that. Fold the foot out. Now this foot for me, for some reason, isn't the best when it comes to like lining up finally here. So we'll just do our best to. There you go, compress that, and there. Now we essentially have the legs transformed. You can rotate this if you want. I just like to keep them straight up anyway. So these are the feet, and the bottom half of the robot is essentially finished with this. So now you'll notice it doesn't like to stand up because there's a lot of weight on straight up here. So real quick, let me put this guy down. Take the camera and we'll move it up so that you guys can see what's going on up here, and we'll move it up even more like that. Alrighty, now to show you what's going on up here, take this section, and then what you'll notice is that it's essentially tabbed in to the waist here on the back. So all you got to do is lift this up and lift it up like so. And I like to keep it like this for the time being so that you have enough room to do everything that's up here. And I'll even push this up even more because there's a lot up here that you're going to need to see. So when it comes to this, first thing I like to do, take the waist section here, and then all you got to do is rotate this around. Like so, and then that is all basically done. So the bottom half is literally completely done. Now the top half, what I like to do is you can unfold these windows here, the doors, you know, where the windows are, and then you can take the arms and you can start to pull these out on both sides like this. See, guys, I'm learning. I'm actually putting the camera up to where the transformation is so you can actually see it, right? Then you can take this section and essentially you'll lift this up, and this will reveal all of this, you know, junk in here. Then you can take these sections. Actually, we'll do those later. I was thinking of something else for the time being. So keep this all out. what you're going to want to do is sort of fold this out. And this section is probably the hardest to untab because this is all tabbed in very securely here. So what you got to do is essentially push up on the front, this front bumper section, so that it starts to release all the tabs, like so. Take this section, fold it up, take this section and start to fold it up. Then you can take these and start to fold them out to the side. It gives you a lot of room here. Then what you're going to do is fold this, rotate this all the way around, rotate this all the way around, push this up, and then compress this and push it in, and this will become his chest. And then from here, you got to rotate these around, like so. Oh, excuse me. There we go, like that. Then you can take this and then fold this in, and then you'll notice that they'll just tab together, and that's basically what his chest will look like. Then from here, I like to get these arms out of the way, so you just do this, and you sort of accordion them out like so. Take this. What you're going to do is fold this in, then fold this in. So what you'll do is fold this part of the window in, and then you'll fold that in. And then from here, what you'll do is essentially rotate these all the way around, like so. And then you'll rotate these up, very similar to MP10, very, very similar to MP10. Take those up, and those will go like this. And then on the back here, you just rotate them up like this. Push the head up. I always screw up these two steps. Rotate these in so that they fit underneath the neck. Fold this part of the top of the truck. And then you can sort of compress all this here. All right, my fault about that, folks. So I always screw this up. You take this section and you have to fold it in front of this gray piece for this to all tab in correctly. And there you go. Then you get this. So for this section, all you got to do left, fold these out. And then this will be folded in like this usually. So you just fold this up, rotate this around, and you notice you got two tabs there, and then you got two holes there, and then this just compresses there on his back. It tabs right into place like that. Or if it'll line up correct. There we go. Tab into place correctly. Then you can take this section. Now you can just compress this down like this. Now for the arms, very simple. Rotate them out like so. Sort of fold this out. Fold out the hand. Then what you're going to do, fold this part in. Accordion this down. Rotate this in. Rotate this all the way around so that this part's facing the front, and then you can just compress this in and fold that in, and there's one arm done. So again, you just do this, open that up, rotate this around, fold the hand out, fold this down, like this, sort of accordion this in, rotate this all the way around so that the arrow is facing the front. And fold this in. Then just take these sections. They were like this before, essentially. They were like this, and then you can just fold them out like this. And then, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the gorgeous Masterpiece 02, Magic Square Light of Peace MS-02 toy color version, Optimus Prime in his absolutely brilliant looking robot mode. And I gotta say, guys, like, this is an amazing rendition of Optimus Prime in his toy color version with essentially as much accuracy to the cartoon as possible. Obviously, there are the toy color things, so you do have these bits which are not Optimus Prime cartoon accurate. You do have these bits as well, which are more toy accurate as well. Spinning here on the back, there's really not that else much difference between them. And obviously, the major difference that you'll notice is that the eyes here are yellow on this figure, as you can see. But looking at that head sculpt, that is G1 Prime. That is what I saw when I was a kid on screen. Again, just the yellow is the difference, but yeah, you can see that is amazing, and I absolutely love this head sculpt. Like, it's so freaking cool. Then you go down here, everything's clean. It looks so clean. And the other things with the yellows too about this figure is you'll notice the yellows are a bit more golden On regular Prime, they're a bit more like just bright yellow. They're a little more like golden, and I really do like that, and I actually really like how this guy looks overall. So absolutely amazing. You can see more details here. Silver there, that comes out. You get this part, which you can't really see in the truck mode. Going more down here, very nice silver here. Feels really nice, actually. You can see some blue there on the crotch piece. Again, more of that detailing for the actual toy stuff. Then you have the nice molded in details here as well. Those come out, but very simple, but very, very well done. Like, just very clean overall. And this has got to compress a bit, or tab in a bit better. That's the only issue I have with that. And then you can see more nice. And then obviously the back is like extremely clean. Like, there's nothing here. And it's really, really amazing what Magic Square were able to do and give us an Optimus Prime that, was, a fraction of the price of the Masterpiece version, but still gave us probably one of the most, if not the most cartoon accurate Optimus Prime that we've ever seen in toy form. And again, this is much more of a bargain in comparison to the Masterpiece, 44 Optimus Prime itself. So very, very nice overall. And so when it comes to this, we got to do a comparison between this and MP10. So I'm going to set this guy off to the side right here. Alrighty, folks, here is the comparison between Masterpiece 10 Year of the Horse Optimus Prime and the Magic Square MS-02TC Optimus Prime. And I gotta say, obviously, you can see the proportional differences mainly. You can see the blue in the legs on the MS-02 is a bit longer, more cartoon accurate in that sense. You can also see that the arms are also a bit shorter on the on the Magic Square Light of Peace. You can also see the differences in sort of the chest proportions. This is a little bit taller. This is a little more compressed, much more accurate to how it was in the cartoon. This is by no means bad at all. This is amazing, but this is just better proportionally, color, all that stuff. Where this figure definitely takes this figure is in the quality. This figure in particular still holds up after so long. It's still super rock solid. I have had no issues with this. Now, this is what I wanted to point out with this is, so we'll get this guy out of the way, but again, we'll see, this comparison. You can see the much more cartoon accurate versus the not as cartoon accurate proportionally. Even if this was the red and the blue, right? Even the Takara or the regular Hasbro Toys R Us version, this is clearly the better in both proportions as well as just the looks in general. But so getting this guy out of the way. All right, now this is what I want to talk about. So getting in here, we're actually going to unfold this real quick. I didn't mean to show this off when we were transforming. It just slipped my mind because I was really focused on the transformation. But what you can notice here is we'll untab this. You'll see here that in this section where you actually tab this all in, it's kind of hard to see. But this area in particular likes stress marks. I don't know how you guys will be able to see. I don't think it was on this side, maybe. Maybe it was on the other side. And I'll cut around so that you guys can see that. But so it is on this leg. So you guys can see right there, that part there has a stress mark on it. And I've only been transforming it, I've transformed it maybe 5 or 6 times, both, going back and forth. And that's scary. This is a new figure. This is literally like, this came out this year. I got this maybe a week or two ago from when I'm actually recording it. Yeah, it's just scary to have something like this already apparent on such an expensive figure, even if it is third party and you're not necessarily expecting the same sort of quality, but it's still kind of scary. And so that's why I wanted to point that out, because for those, I'm not even trying to be too hard on Magic Square or anything like that. It's just something to note of, because it's like, I wanted to find a more budget-friendly Masterpiece Prime, because out of the Masterpiece stuff, the only thing I would want for a Masterpiece display would be like Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and Starscream and Megatron. And trying to find when I trying to find like the Masterpiece ones, man, they are so expensive secondhand now, like after their initial retail runs went out. And so that incentivized me to pick this up as sort of my replacement for it. But yeah, you guys can understand what I'm saying. That is just scary for something so new. But getting into the other parts of the figure, let's get into the articulation. I just wanted to point that out because I'm not even that hard on this figure when transforming it. It's just like, man, that's really scary for something that's this new. So articulation though is fantastic. So for the articulation, the head is on this crazy awesome joint, so you can do full 360. You can look down pretty far, you can look up pretty far as well. Also his little antennae do get in the way. That is a bit annoying. But you do get a butterfly joint for the arms. You can do a full 360 as well. You have a joint here at the upper part of the bicep, and then you have another one here at the elbow, and then you can go way past 90 here, and then the wrists also do swivel and do a full 360, and each of the fingers, the fingies, those are individually articulated. So you do have a joint here at the middle. So really nice and very cool. It actually ends up working out pretty decently for this figure. Then getting into the waist, you obviously do have full waist, full 360. You do have a bit of an ab crunch because you can do this with the transformation stuff. For the legs, you can move the skirt armor, so you can get a full kick forward. You can get, and then the back skirt armor also does the same, so you can do this. Then you get a full kick back. You get way more than 90 here at the knee, and then you do get an upper thigh rotation as well, and then the ankles, you do have some pretty crazy ankle articulation, so you can get this guy in some really awesome poses. And the reason I'm doing the articulation now before I do the accessories is because the accessories kind of have to do with some of the articulation. So mainly it's just in the hands, but I wanted to get that out of the way so that you guys can see when it comes to the articulation what this guy has. Also, you can do side and in. It's just these can also, the side skirts can also flip up. It's just that this part doesn't like to rotate itself back in, so you'll have to manually do that a good chunk of the time. But other than that, when it comes to the articulation, this guy is really amazing, and this is probably one of the other things that also kind of sets it as a very nice bargain, is because the articulation is absolutely brilliant on a figure like this for a third party. So I think they did a fantastic job with that. All right, now we get into the accessories. So obviously, like I showed you, you do come with it. He does come with both of these, right? So you have those options. But the other ones he obviously comes with are the two major ones. There's two of them. He comes with his ion blaster, and this looks amazing. I just wish that this was painted yellow. But these are amazing. You can see that very awesome sort of gunmetal gray here. Very nicely done. Very nice molded detail. Looks exactly how it does. So to get this guy to hold it, all you got to do, open up a hand. And then what you'll notice is that there is a groove section in there, and then you do have the tab on either side of the gun, and then you just slot that into place. There you go. Very easy to get that in, and he holds it very nicely. It's not loose or anything like that. Very nice. And then the last thing is obviously the Energon Axe when it comes to the other handheld accessories. So very easy, very cool actually, by the way. This thing looks really good. Very easy. All you gotta do is take this off, and then you do just have a tab right there that'll slot right into his fist, and then you can just put this other half back on. And then you do have the Energon Axe, and that's really freaking awesome. And I think that is a money shot right there. That looks really good for a third party. I think they did a fantastic job with this. So the absolute last accessory that you do get is built in. So, as you saw when we were transforming it, he does have the Matrix of Leadership. So all you gotta do is open this up, and there you go. There's your awesome, oh, whoops, like that. There's your awesome little Matrix of Leadership. And then I got some tweezers here that I'm using to build the Amazing Strike Freedom Gundam, the Master Grade. So I've had that out. So just get some tweezers, and you can just pull this right out like that. So here we have our little Matrix, and it looks really good. The nice gold paint, blue there, silver for the handles. He can hold it, but it's a bit difficult. You might see that in the pictures, but I'm not going to go over that now. But yeah, it looks very nice overall. Very awesome, and then very easy. Just slot that in. Just grab it and push it back in. Close that up. Close this all up. And yeah, here we have Prime. Awesome accessories, and I think he comes with some really cool stuff. So overall, can't really complain all too much about the offering that Magic Square has given us here. Really solid stuff. Alright guys, now there is one thing I have to definitely address, and that what you probably have been noticing with me handling this figure is the joints are pretty loose. Now, again, this is a third party, and you're incurring the risk of buying from a third party. And Magic Square, I'm not trying to piss on you, I'm just saying that that is the truth, that the joints are very loose on my copy. You can see, like, just moving him shakes him up. It's like you can see, just with the legs. And if I do this, and then actually the arms are pretty solid. Actually, the arms are pretty solid. But it's the legs here. You can see, like, if I do this, yeah, if I just shake it just a little bit, the legs will go. So that is one complaint I have. Again, it's third party. You're going to incur the risk of buying third party, but it is something to note if you are looking to buy this thing. My major question with this figure is I will just probably have him displayed something like this, right? Third quarter pose, no crazy poses or anything like that. I just wonder how long he'll last, because even taking this guy, again, I've had this guy for a very long time, this Optimus Prime. Look at this. Now it's acting up. Like, it's only this long. Before it didn't. It only took this long for this to act up, and it's not even that bad. But this is brand new. This is, like, again, this is almost a decade old, and that's when it started to actually show its issues. This is brand new. That's something to note. I'm not going to knock it off really for that, because I'm giving this a little bit of a pass because of the third-party nature, right? But at the end of the day, it is something to note of. Alrighty, folks. The last thing we got to do is get this guy back into his truck mode. And this, in my opinion, is more difficult than getting him from vehicle to robot. I think getting him back to his truck mode is a bit harder. So first things first, obviously, we're just going to remove all of his accessories. So just very easily, you can remove these. Just got to find the break point here for this. The have. Like that. Very easy to remove. Alrighty then. First thing I like to do in this situation, I actually, funnily enough, like to start up here. So we're going to accordion this up, and then we'll also, again, bring up the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. So when it comes to this, first thing I like to do is you come around here, and then you take this waist section, and you can just rotate that. That just alleviates a lot of time. Then you can take this entire chest section, this back, and just untab that like so. Then we'll go for the arms, because the arms, in my opinion, will more or less get in the way if you kind of leave them like this. So what I like to do, all you got to do, rotate it around so that the silver is facing the front. Then what you can do is go on the inside of the arm, and then you can just unfold this section, and then accordion it up, and then unfold the other section up here. Then take the fist, just make it into as much of a compression as possible, and then all you got to do is just rotate this all the way in. And then from here, what you're going to do is you'll notice that there is a little hole there, and then there's a tab. You just got to do this tab, essentially. Now, this is why this little fist is can be a bit annoying, like getting the hand in there, because sometimes it gets in the way of this, and I was able to get it very easily earlier when practicing this. It's just, I don't know why it's not cooperating. Now, there we go. We got it, and you just got to do it like this. And then what you do from here is you just do this, and you rotate this around. Excuse me. Keep it like this so that it will line up flush, essentially, with this. Like that. And there you go. You got one arm. So I'll just repeat this on the other arm. So again, all you got to do, rotate this around so that the silver's facing the front. Come up here. Take this. Open that. Rotate that. Accordion that out. Then fold this out. Take the fist. Rotate that in as much as you can. And then take this section. Come around here. Do your best to accordion this up like so. And then that'll tab into place, and then you just gotta take this, rotate this around, and here. You have basically both arms fully transformed. Then from here, you take these, rotate them down, rotate them around, and keep them like so. So again, rotate this down, rotate this around, and keep everything like so. Take the chest, open it up, take this, rotate this around, of down, rotate this around, then rotate this around. And then you can take these, fold these around, take that, fold that in, take this, fold the head back like so. And then this part is a little tricky. This, in my opinion, is one of the trickiest parts of this transformation. So what you gotta do, unfold, unfold. Again, same here. So unfold, unfold. Then you essentially, what you'll notice is the way that this all tabs in, they kind of slide in on these sides here, and then you'll notice here at the top of this, it's kind of hard to see. You'll see same thing right there. They kind of slide in. So what I like to do is you sort of line this up. So fold these chess pieces in. Sort of start to fold this all the way down and sort of keep it pulled out. Then what you can do is start to rotate these in like so. And what you got to do is keep this sort of out, and then you just sort of line up this with this tab right here, and you just got to sort of push them in as best you can, and they'll eventually slide into place like this. Wow, that's the easiest it's ever gone in. I'm not going to lie to you. That's the easiest it's ever gone in for me. And then you can sort of readjust here, sort of push all this in, rotate the arms back like so. Essentially, we'll have, ooh, that little part will actually having trouble going in. There we go. Like that, and then it should be good like this. Wow, yeah, that's the easiest I've ever gotten it, which is really, really nice. Then, to take the arms here, you just got to essentially slot them in like this. Help them compress like so. Again, same here. So take this and then sort of push this in like that. This, and then you can fold these in. And then finally, the last part about the cab is to take this section. You essentially lift this all the way up, unfold this, or fold these in, rotate this around, and then this is usually folded up, so you'll fold this back as well. And then you take this, fold this out, and then just sort of compress this all in. Like this. That, and there we basically have the upper part of the truck finished. The last thing you got to do, take this section. What you'll notice is when you fold this section down, there are two tabs on either side, and then there are two slots on either side, and you just got to push those right in. Alright guys, my apologies, finally got that to snap in, but once you got that snapped in like so, all you gotta do is take this, rotate this all the way down, and what you'll notice is that this groove here essentially will fit into this part of the waist section. So, bring the camera down here for this. You'll see this, and then it should just slot right into place like so. And now we are on to the leg bits here. Now when it comes to the legs, this is where the other frustration, in my opinion, with the transformation comes in. So we'll fold the feet down like this and sort of just get them compressed, nothing too crazy. Then we'll start to unfold both sides. So remember, just unfold both sides like so. And then all you gotta do for this is fold this in, then there's a hole there, and then there's a tab right there on the inside that you can see. And then just gotta line those up and fold those together. Again, rotate this up, fold the small part in first, larger part, tab right in, absolutely perfect. Take this section, rotate it around like so, untab this, fold these out, and sort of start to accordion it and rotate it around like this to where it faces forward. Make sure to pull it out all the way too. Absolutely all the way. Then you can start to accordion this as well. That gives everything some breathing room. Like so. What you'll do is fully accordion this out. Rotate the foot around as well. I forgot about that. And rotate this foot. We'll do that right now. Take this section. Essentially, this will tab into place like so. And then all you got to do, take this and compress it. And it'll tab right into place there like this. So again, on this side, what you got to do, so sort of start to accordion this, just so you have some room to take the wheels out. So untab, pull this out as far as you possibly can, rotate this out, rotate this out, rotate this, start to rotate this around as much as you can. Again, pull this out as much as you can, like this. Rotate this and accordion this part of the leg. into the leg there. And this will just tab right into place like so. And then you can take this, just compress that, tab right into place. And what I like to do is to compress these legs, sort of get the feet out of the way, and then you can just do that. Sort of compress them like this, because trying to get these to tab in when you push like this, you end up pushing in on the wheels, which is really annoying, and then sort of ends up screwing up the entire transformation for the most part. So just get in here, try to do your best to just tab those together. And then from here, the last part to do, obviously, is sort of fix the feet. Fix these however you like. To put them close together like this. Fold these up however you like. We'll just do this. Get those like that. And then you can take any of the tow hitches, the trailer hitches, and then just, again, tab those in. And ladies and gentlemen, here we do have the Transformers, or well, the Magic Square Light of Peace MS-02TC toy color version in its very awesome truck mode. Alright guys, for my final concluding thoughts on the MS-02 Magic Square Light of Peace, again, Alright guys, so for my final and concluding thoughts on the MS-02TC, otherwise known as the Magic Square Light of Peace toy color version of Optimus Prime from the G1 cartoon, this is absolutely awesome. I do think that it is a very good offering from Magic Square to give us a much more bargain for, bang for our buck version of the Masterpiece 44 version of Optimus Prime, but that does not mean it is cheap. This is still, for me, where I picked it up, still $200, still a very big investment, and the major question is it worth it? These are my things that I'll say about it. If you have MP44, don't bother getting this thing. And the reason I say that is because when it comes to this figure, you already have the best version, especially if you got it at retail, because of the quality. Don't get me wrong, this is still solid quality, but it doesn't feel as good as Hasbro puts it out, especially when it came to even this guy, the Masterpiece 10 Optimus Prime that I still have. It still doesn't feel the same in terms of quality that Hasbro would put out for a Masterpiece figure. Obviously, it's at a lower budget, but you guys understand what I'm saying. If you don't have any of the Masterpiece Optimus Primes and you want a budget-friendly alternative, this is definitely a more budget-friendly alternative, and it's probably the best budget-friendly alternative out there when it comes to getting a Masterpiece scale, G1 accurate, even in the toy color version here, Optimus Prime, and that is really, really cool. And this guy will sit on my shelf as the definitive version that I will own probably until it decides to break down. And that's the other concern with this figure, is how brittle is it? Is it going to last a long time? Is it not going to last a long time? I'm already having stress marks. That's the major concern when it comes to this figure. Other than that, color's great. Robot mode looks fantastic. The vehicle mode looks really, really solid and is also compatible with other Hasbro products like the trailer and stuff like that, which is awesome. Matrix, gun, axe. You can't really ask for more when it comes to an Optimus Prime, and I think overall Magic Square gave us a very good offering. Now, that said and done, if I have to give this figure a score out of 10, probably about a 7.5, or actually between a 7 and an 8, depending on how you want to spin it. It's very arguable either way. I do recommend picking this figure up at the end of the day, though, if you don't have the Masterpiece Prime. And so, yeah, that's really about it. So I picked mine up at, like I said earlier in the video, I picked mine up on TF Source. I'll leave a link in the description to that listing if you'd like to take a look at it. Also, see if it is on BBTS. If it isn't, then I'm not obviously going to link it. I don't think it's on Amazon, or obviously it's not on Hasbro. It's third party. But at the end of the day, I'll leave as many links as I can in the description if you guys do want to pick this guy up. And yeah, that's really about it. So I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, I thank you once again so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.